My next guest is a very talented singer and songwriter who we're very excited to have on the program. It is Carol's daughter. Hey there.
Hi, Pete. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, really appreciate your time. How are you? Where are you checking in from? This is a very posh space you have going on.
This is not my room. I'm in Long Beach. I'm at my friend's house. I spent the night here. Um, I live in Temecula, but this is not my room. Yeah. It's
Oh,
super like organized and I feel like so out of place in here, to
I was
be
going to
honest.
say, I stalked you on Instagram and your various socials, and your bedroom looks a little different than this. So that's why I had to point that out.
Yeah.
This morning, as I normally do, I'm scrolling through TikTok, and perhaps it knows that I was listening to your music recently or what have you, or maybe talking to myself in
It knows
preparation.
everything.
And then all of a sudden, it's like every other video is soundtracked by Violet. I don't know what it's like for you. How's your TikTok
Yeah,
experience?
I think it depends on like what side of TikTok you're on or like, what you're interested in. But I know my friends, like every other one is like, don't make me get it. But they get so sick of it.
I mean, especially for you because you created the song.
Yeah. And it's different because like the song is a little bit old for me. I made it like 9 months ago or something. So to other people it's like really new because it was just released on like all platforms and it just got, really popular. But to me, it's like I know that song really well.
I'm sure. I got to congratulate you on all the exposure now that it's getting. And you just touched upon how it's a 9 month old song. When you released it on SoundCloud, what was the intention? Was it just to share with your other musical friends? What was the thought process in sharing the song in the first place?
It's always been to be successful in music. It's always like that's always been the goal. So, even though I didn't know it at the time, that specific song would be the one to, take me really far. Like some of my other friends called it. They're like, "This song is gonna blow up. This is your best one yet," and they were like just super supportive and excited for me. So.
Now, you referenced your issues with drug addictions in the past, having to go to a whole bunch of rehabs, switching high schools a whole bunch of times, and I'm sure it was a strain on your family life, especially with the relationship that you have with your mother. And throughout the whole ups and downs, you named yourself Carol's daughter, which is, I feel, a tribute to her. And so, what is the relationship now? It seems like things are well, having seen the video of you guys listening to your song on commercial radio for the first time. It's like she's a doting mother, but describe that relationship throughout this period of time.
I mean, me and my mom have always been like really, really close. Like I look up to her. Like I'm one of 10. So, I mean, she's just like amazing. She's the most hardworking person I know. Like, I've never heard my mom curse. She's never smoked a cigarette. She's never taken a drink. Like, she's kind of like the perfect example. And like, I think in a lot of ways, like, people think that people who look like me or who express themselves the way I do, like, don't think that they can have a really good relationship with my parent or with their parents, or like I didn't for a long time. Um, but it's just it's super important to me that we've like grown past that. Like my mom respects me as a person and she thinks that I'm, unique and talented. And instead of like, like my parents are Mormon, so a lot of Mormons wouldn't want their daughter to turn out like this, you know? So I just appreciate my parents because they're understanding and they still support me.
It's beautiful. You said you're one of 10. Where in the 10 are you?
I'm the youngest.
The youngest. Okay.
Yeah,
So then a lot of psychologists would probably say, okay, this kind of makes sense
that
in a
makes
way.
sense.
Does it make
Yeah.
sense? Did
I'm
you
like,
feel like that you were kind of the last one to get the attention, and all your siblings kind of had their own lives?
I honestly, I can't really say because, like, I feel like I would have turned out exactly like this no matter what my circumstances, just because I don't know, I've always been like this. But I think it definitely contributed to like me wanting to stand out and me having to like really hone in on like what my unique talents were and like recognize that so I could stand out because my brother is like a genius and my other brother plays the piano and he's amazing and he composes and like everyone does something. So it's like I wanted to stand out. But yeah.
Well, you've definitely excelled at that as well because you did grow up in a musical family, from what I understand, right? You've been playing instruments since you were very little, and I think you were surrounded by that, but you weren't surrounded by the
The
usual
tat,
suspects.
yeah, yeah. I didn't find, you know, anything that was like, besides what was playing on the radio. Like I'd never been able to discover music like that until I really like either got my phone, which was like late in high school, which was kind of late for I didn't get a phone until like a little later. I was always like embarrassed about that. But yeah, like getting a phone and using like my school computer and then like discovering like there's a whole entire world out there. Like, you know.
And what's interesting is that you discovered Black Flag just based on the imagery of their tattoos.
Yeah, like I just saw a tattoo and like it just stuck in my head and I had seen it I think on multiple people and I have a really good memory. Um and then I saw it online and I was like, wait a second. I was like, wait, I'm putting the pieces together and then I, found out it's a band and
Did you try to sneak off to Warp Tour? Did you try to catch those
oh
bands
God.
live and things?
This is kind of like, I don't know. This is a little embarrassing, but the only concert I've ever been to, I went to a Charlie Puth concert with my best friend because her mom bought us tickets when I was like in like eighth or ninth grade. But I was never allowed. There's not shows where I am. There's not really a scene in like Temecula or one that I've like found or anything. So I've always kind of just been like on my own and like kind of discovering this stuff by myself. But I mean, I'm planning on moving to like LA or like Orange County area. So I really hope to like get into it.
Wow. So then I have to talk about what you're up to now and how that may influence what you're planning in terms of a fuller piece of work. I understand you may be working on an album.
Yeah, I mean, I have so many songs that are just in my brain and I just have to record them. I have so many songs. Like I had so much time in rehab. Like your brain like needs stimulation, you know what I mean? And I refused to do school, so I just put it all into music and I had gotten sober and I hadn't actually thought a coherent thought in like months. You know what I mean? So then all of a sudden all this music and writing is just kind of pouring out of me. So I have tons of stuff I just need to record. And I don't know, it's obviously going to be like an album or something, but who knows?
What
It's
do,
always just like,
what do you think the sonics of it will be? Because we just talked about Black Flag, but then you went to a Charlie Puth show. You're
well,
like
I don't really listen. I never have listened to Charlie Puth. I just I just went because she had tickets. But the show was super cool. He's a great performer. But yeah. So as far as like what it's gonna sound like, I mean, I have most of my stuff that is kind of on the books is just acoustic, like guitar stuff, but I imagine it with a full band, like when I record it. And I would say like there's influences, like you mentioned Blink 182, like it's kind of similar. I mean, not, you know what I mean? Like I just take influence from them. But I think it's gonna be more along the lines of like true, like it comes from a band, like I wrote the song and then all it needs is like bass and drums and it's gonna be cool. So hopefully more on like that track.
Well, cool. I can't wait for whatever you have to release this year. Really excited for your future. Congrats on everything and appreciate your time. Great to meet you.
Thank you so much. It was really nice to meet you too.